Hello. I think we can start.
Yeah, now it is 7. Yeah.
Gifty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, sir. Okay. Alan?
1 minute more to 7.
Hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yes,
You're
audible.
audible, sir.
Yes, you're audible.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alan, and I welcome you all to the 98th talk of Indo Society Weekly Webinar Series, jointly organized by the IEEE Kerala Section, the Institution of Engineers Kerala State Center, Computer Society of India, Trivandrum Chapter, Project Management Institute Kerala Chapter, Indo Society Trivandrum Chapter, Vakkammole Foundation Trust in Trivandrum, Life Member Affinity Group IEEE Kerala Section, IEEE Engineering in Medicine and Biology Kerala Chapter, the Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. Today, on our 94th talk, we have Dr. K. Balan sharing his wisdom on Geotextiles Bhoo, Vasthra. Now, I would like to call Anushree for welcoming the gathering.
Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important, says Bill Gates. Warm evening to you all. It's an honor to be gathered here with this group of amazing people. Myself, Anushree Prakash, welcome you all on behalf of the IEEE family to the 90th Talk of Indo Society Weekly Webinar Series. I appreciate all the hardworking minds behind the 97 webinars that has been conducted in the past. Today, we have a very distinguished guest with us. With immense pleasure, let me invite our chief guest and speaker of the day, Dr. K. Balan, Vice Principal and Dean of Rajdhani Institute of Engineering and Technology, Trivandrum. Now let me welcome K.C. Ravindranath Sir, Chief of Inter-Society Activities Committee. Next, I would like to welcome the volunteers of this event. Welcome Alan Abraham, Anjana Sabu, and Adla T. Bashir. I welcome all the co-volunteers, coordinating societies, and professional community to the 98th Talk of Indo-Society Weekly Webinar Series. Now, we have stars of our session, our participants. You are the one that motivates us to conduct all these programs. Your support is our fuel to move on. Once again, let me welcome you all to the event.
Thank you, Anushree, for the warm welcome. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to Adla for the introduction.
Hello. Adila. Hello.
Sorry, sir, Adla is right now having some connectivity issues.
Make Dr. Baran a co-host, please.
Shall I share the screen, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Is it visible?
It's visible.
Okay, shall I start? Ravindra sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start, sir. Yeah.
Respected members, senior members, and the committee and other members, participants, good evening. Good evening to all of you. My topic today is Geotextiles, Bhoo, Vasthra. I know the audience is a mix of all the disciplines in engineering. So I will try my level best to come to rock bottom level, so that what is geotextiles or Bhoo, Vasthra, and how does it influences the civil engineering construction activities, especially with a new invention and also a cost-effective method. But at the same time, this has got its own limitations and the areas of application. Try to understand the areas of application, and appropriate material has to be chosen. All these things are the engineering parameter as far as Bhoo, Vasthra is concerned, or geotextile is concerned. As the word textile, this is comes from textile industry, and then it is application to earth. That is why it is called a geotextile. It is nothing but our ordinary cloth itself. In olden days, there was a polyester cloth which has been used for dressing. Today, that polyester doesn't have market in dressing industry or textile industry. So that is being used in soil to improve its properties. So this is the definition for geotextiles given by AST, American Society of Testing of Materials. The geotextiles are permeable textile material. So the one which allows water to pass through. So the simplest geotextile I can say is our country towel, bath towel, which we are using. That is the best example for a geotextile. See, in childhood days, if you are in villages, we are using this country type towel to catch fishes from the flowing stream, so that you can pass the water through, at the same time fish will be retained. So that itself is a geotextile. So any permeable textile material which are used in conjunction or in contact with soil or rock, earth, or any other geotechnical related material. It can be in reinforced retaining wall. It can be in embankment. It can be underneath foundations, but never think that when I say foundation, never think that it can be used for multi-story building. No, it has got its own limitation. So in foundations, and you can use this material to improve the soil or foundation properties. So this material will become an integral part of the civil engineering project or structure or the system as a whole. This is the definition which is given by American Society of Testing of Material. But later on, there's some changes has been come up. So I will go to the history. Before that, there is the next member was geomembrane. This geomembrane was or geomembrane is nothing but, when we buy goods from shop, they will give you a carry bag, synthetic carry bag or plastic carry bag. The plastic carry bag's thickness is slightly increased, or we can say the gauge, if you increase, then it will become a geomembrane. That is why we are today saying that please do not use such a carry bag because it prevents the flow of groundwater. So the same plastic bag with the thickness or the gauge slightly increased, we can call it as geomembrane. So many type of geomembranes are available. HDPE, PP polypropylene, LLDPE, bituminous material, PVC material. But today, all these materials has been replaced by one sole material called EPDM. So geomembranes made of EPDMs are made use of today. So there are basically two products now I came up. Is the first one is the Geotextiles and the second one is geomembrane. It's not moving. Yeah. The first one was the Geotextile. The definition is given by ASTM. And the second product was geomembrane. These are the two products which was there in the 1970s. And more research has been taken place in the European countries, but not in any other countries. France, Britain, like that, they have started research because their textile industry went down. So they want to find out a new market. By that, they started this research. So the first international conference on the use of fabric in geotechnics is conducted in Paris in 1977. But at that time, there is no clear-cut idea has been came up. The name itself was on the use of fabric, or it is textile. At that time, the name geotextile didn't came up. It was just the name only fabric. Followed by in around the 80s, the Professor J.P. Giraud in France, who was my PhD examiner. My thesis has been evaluated by Professor J.P. Giraud. He coined the name geotextiles and geomembrane. So in other words, you can say today, whatever geotextile or geomembrane, if you say, the father of that name is J.P. Giraud. And the international conferences in the subject will be conducted. There is geotextiles and geomembranes. There's an international conference will be conducted once in every 4 years with the name International Conference on Geotextiles and Geomembranes. So this is the first, after 77, then after 4 years, we started that is 81. We started the first conference on geotextiles and geomembrane. That is also was in France, and subsequently various countries started hosting it. Then the name has been changed to International Geotextile Society, IGS, established in 10th November 1983 in Paris. From 1994, the name International Geotextile Society has been changed to International Geosynthetics Society. And in 94, this International Geosynthetics Society defined what is geosynthetics. So after 1994, the definition which you have seen, which is given by ASTM, is no more you can use it. You can use the definition of Geosynthetics Society only, which is international, and that is established in 1994. So you can see this International Geotextile Society Indian chapter started in 1992. I was also at that time one of the member in the Indian chapter of International Geotextile Society. And for the last 30 years, we were developing the Indian chapter also. The Indian chapter is associated with the Central Board of Irrigation and Power, New Delhi, Government of India's autonomous body. And in the very beginning, there were only 2 members from the Kerala, and right now there are 3 executive committee members from Kerala in this Indian chapter of International Geosynthetics Society.
Hello.
Now this geosynthetics, that is what this definition is provided by this International Geosynthetics Society. So now this is valid. What is geosynthetics? So usually people will think that the word synthetics stands for plastic. When you use a plastic material with the earth, it is geosynthetic. Sorry, no, it is not. Here the synthetic stands for any material which is synthesized. It is a synthesization. It is any material which is synthesized to improve the geotechnical property of soil. That is called geosynthetics. So being synthesized, It can be a natural material also.
ஆன்லைன்ல இருக்குதா இது ஹைபிரிட் மோடா அவ்வளோதான் அதான் கேட்டேன். அவரு ஐஏடி ரவி சொன்னாரு அப்படி இல்லை, எல்லாரும் அவர் ஹைபிரிட் மோடுன்னா என்ன அப்படிதான் உங்க இவர் சொன்னாரு. பேசி உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கல.
So any material which is synthesized, so natural material can also be synthesized. So and the material
നമ്മെ വിശേഷിപ്പിച്ചത് അപ്പോ ഒരു വികൃതിച്ചെങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ്. വികൃതി എന്ന് മാത്രം പറഞ്ഞാൽ പോരാ, അവരെ പോലൊരു മറ്റു വികൃതിച്ചക്കൻ പിന്നെ ഈ ഭൂലോകത്ത് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ടയർ കൂടെ ഉടച്ചതിന് അമ്മ അവരെ ഉള്ളിൽ ബന്ധിക്കാൻ നോക്കി, പക്ഷേ കയർ നികത്തില്ല. പിന്നെ മറ്റൊരു കാരണം കൂട്ടിക്കിട്ടി. എന്നിട്ടും ആ കയറ് നീളം പോരാ, വീണ്ടും വീണ്ടും കൂട്ടിക്കിട്ടി. എന്താണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
so someone said if you mute it, it will be better. Hello. So any material which is synthesized can be said to be geosynthetics. So natural material can also be said to be a geosynthetic. That is for material like coir, jute, sisal, anything. You can make a geotextile, which is said to be geosynthetic. So it doesn't mean that it is plastic. Today, this is geosynthetics is a very, very big family. In the beginning, there were only two members, geotextiles and geomembrane. But today, it consists of geonet, geodrain, geocell. You might have been heard about that geocell, which is being used in Vidignam Harbor Port Road. Geotube, it was recently, some 2-3 days back, it was in newspaper, which is being used in our seashore protection in Trivandrum. If it is successful, they will use it up to Shankamukham. Geotube, geosynthetic clay liners, which is being used in landfills, waste dumping areas, geocomposites, geosynthetics with natural fibers. So many members are there. So out of which I have put up only a little bit, a small numbers or small item of products I have provided here, but it is still very, very large. So if I concentrate on geotextile, there are two types of geotextile. One is woven, the other is called a non-woven. So what is woven? This is again, as I said in the very beginning, it is our country type bath towel. And non-woven is nothing but it is just like the seat in the KSRTC in the olden times with the rubberized coir fiber with the latex coated. Or you can say this is the one which is being used in napkins, the non-woven. So this is the opening size in the woven. And when you pull it, there is a possibility that it will extend. So actually one of the engineering criteria is this opening size in woven as well as in non-woven. So when you pull it, it will have a change. So that has to be controlled, whereas in non-woven, that volume void will not change. It will always remains the constant. So usually we are using polyester materials or polymeric materials or polyolefins or polyester. So you can see the difference almost the same. I mean, but the melting point is different. So when you want to have in road application, it is better to use a polyester rather than polyolefin. The specific gravity is different. One is having 0.91, the other is having 1.38. That means it is whether it is floating in water or will sink in water. So this is woven geotextile. In the beginning, I said it is just our country-made bathing towel. It is a similar type of item. This direction, we call it as machine direction. And this is the cross machine direction in which the weaver is putting his shuttle. And this is yarn will be rolled in his facing direction. So this is our direction is called a machine direction. The yarn which is loosely coming out is called a cross machine direction. So warp, and this is a weft. So all textile technology terminologies are being used. There is no change. This is non-woven geotextile. Fibers are put up randomly, and either you needle punch it, or you can paste it with some gum or resin, or you can have latex, anything, any material you can use as a binder. The other one is needle punching. So quite naturally, when I say needle punching, I know that majority of you may not follow what is needle punching. The best example I can give is that in school days, when we don't have any pin to club all your answer paper in an examination, what we usually does for class examination, university examination means they will give the twine and everything. But in class examination, when there is no twine, but you have some 4 or 5 sheets, all the sheets kept together, then with the pencil, we will give a punch and then fold it. That pencil punching makes the papers, the top paper to click with the bottom paper and so on. The same process here also being used. You place needles in a row very closely, and that needle will move in the up and bottom, top and bottom direction. Upside down direction, it will move. Then the fibers will move in the horizontal direction. So it's a large machinery. You can make a 3 meter width. Today, 6 meter width textile is capable to produce. The large machineries are ready. Next is called another material called the Geogrid. The Geogrid is just like a material like this one. There is a junctions. Actually, this is a sheet, polymeric sheet. You make a hole in this and then pull it one direction, then you call it unidirectional. When you pull it in both directions, that is X direction and Y direction, then you will get holes like this. Then it is called a biaxial geogrid. Today, triaxial geogrid is also developing. And when you use larger particles, it will get into this holes and will give friction. So it is a binding, and due to the binding, you will have more frictional values or strength value will improve. This type of uniaxial, you can see the different varieties. This is uniaxial geogrid, and this is the biaxial geogrid. You have seen just the previous picture, the biaxial. This is uniaxial. This is the material which is being used in our road structure, especially you might have been seen from our bypass from Karakutam to Kanyakumari side. You can see there is a lot of retaining walls are being constructed. All the retaining walls nearby airport, Inchekal and all those things were constructed by using these by uniaxial geogrid or biaxial geogrid. This is welded geogrid. This is also widely used. So different varieties of products are there. Then geocell. This is the one which has been used in our Vizhinjam port recently. It was in the newspaper. This is actually made of HDP or geotextile can be. The first picture is the white one is geotextile. This is one I have developed when I was working in Saudi Arabia in a geotextile company. Our product was geotextile. So with the geotextile, I have made a geocell. But today, this is the geocell which is available in the market with the perforations inside so that no water will be retained, the water will pass through it. So saturation problem will not be there. At the same time, it will give a confinement. So say if the soil is very weak, say let us say it has got a bearing capacity of only 2 tons per meter square. As such a very weak soil, you provide a geocell that 2 tons per meter square will improve to 4 times. That is, it will become 8 tons per meter square. So you can have a very good road if you provide a geocell by improving the bearing capacity. That is why the Vizhinjam Harbor Road and also in Ernakulam, that Vaipin, Valarpadam, there also they have used geocell in Kerala. The geocell they have used is this type, polymer HDP type. This is the one which we developed in 2005 in Saudi Arabia. And geocomposite. Geocomposite is a combination of material. The geotextile we have seen, geomembrane we have seen, geonet, so many products. We combine them. So here, this is a drain we are using so that when water comes up, it will be filtered. So this is a textile on the top, another textile on the bottom. Inside, there is a drainage material similar to the one shown in the first figure. So this you can use as the water comes from the top, water comes from the bottom. It can be drained through the center portion. Previously, what we were doing, we were taking graded aggregate. In the field, getting this graded aggregate and packing them to the grade is very, very difficult. Quality cannot be maintained in the construction period. But when you use this material, there is no question of graded aggregate. Whatever material you have, you can just dump on the top of it. So construction become very easy. That is the benefit of this geocomposite. Now you can see this geotube. The geotubes is being used at the one in Shankamugam area for seashore protection. We are using it. You can have this is a membrane, geotextile material, and the bottom also geotextile. It can be a woven material or it can be a non-woven material, and that will be stitched. It's just like a sack. So this sack is having a length of more than 4 to 5 meters. You just and will have a valve on the top. Through the valve, you pump water and slurry, that is the soil and slurry, everything from the seaside itself. You dredge it and pump it to it, so that slowly it will bulge up. When the slurry, the soil, water, everything comes inside, it starts bulging up and have this shape. So when it is bulging, and as you goes on pumping, the excess water will pass through the textile, only soil will be inside. So that is the purpose. So finally, it will be just like a soil-filled bag. And if needed, we can have armor in front. Even without armor also, it will work. It's not customary that you need a rock patching or rock pitching on the front side. Even without that, but the problem is that people should not come and damage the tubes. So that we have to take care of it. There's a lot of places it is being used everywhere in the world, and in India also so many places it is being now used. And now came it to our place in Trivandrum, and also they are planning it to have in Chelanam in Ernakulam. But so far I have discussed with the synthetic material. Similarly, we can have a material with a natural fiber like a coir or jute. So what are the functions they are doing? A geosynthetic material will do separation function, filtration function. Separation is separated two dissimilar material. Say, for example, you want to develop a marshy area and you bring load of trucks of loads of very good soil. The area is marshy. If you dump the good soil, it will penetrate into the marshy soil. So if you want to develop, say, 1 meter height filling, you have to fill sometimes 1.5 meters, because a 1/2 meter soil will penetrate. Just imagine what will be your cost. Whereas if you spread a geotextile, which can be woven or non-woven as the case may be, because you have to look into so many other parameters, and then select it. Lay the material at the ground surface where the ground is marshy. And on the top of that, you put your filled material. It will be separated. Filtration, water has to pass through. Reinforcement action, it will carry more load. Transmissibility, the geotextile will act like a pipeline so that water will be taken out. So these are the basic functions. You will see one by one. This is separation in rows. Aggregate will not be allowed to penetrate into the ground. It will be kept separated by a geotextile. You might have been seen in railway tracks, their ballast, they are removing and refilling the ballast, because the ballast will penetrate into the natural ground by around 1 to 1.5 meters. It was a very headache, and yearly maintenance was there for railways. But with the advent of geotextiles, that has been reduced a lot. This is filtration. when water passes through the soil, it will retain the soil. It will not take any particle of the soil. Initially, some particle will come, but later on, no soil will be come from here. Only water will be passed through the geotextile. And then we will have a larger grade of aggregate. Since the voice is larger, it will pass through. We use this principle I have used by with the wire geotextile for some of the project that we will discuss later. This is transmissibility, that is the water is passed through the geotextile as a pipeline. This is reinforcement. When you place a geotextile, the load will be transferred on a larger area. So load divided by area, that the stress will be less. So what is the principle behind it? You can see here there is a clay, 2 clay layers. In the second clay layer, there is a reinforcement is placed. And this person is going to stand on the top. Only one leg is kept on the clay layer, and the other one is just partial load. So you can see here what is happening. Only with the partial one leg itself, it is failed, whereas the whole weight is being taken up. There is no dislocation of this cake of soil because these force, the total force is taken by the geotextile. This is the basic principle which is being used in the reinforced earth retaining wall, which we are seeing now, right now, in our bypass from Kazhakoottam to Vizhinjam area. So this is the bridge you are seeing. This is RE wall with the facings, and this is the facing, and that will be connected by this Geogrid, and this is the reinforced backfill, and this is the retained soil. So in this structure, the central portion will be the retained soil. The soil very near to the wall is the reinforced soil. This is the basic principle. There is, without any reinforcement, there will be a volume change. But when there is a reinforcement comes, there is no volume change. That will be taken care of. And the next application is moisture barrier. So if you give a coating of bitumen, water will not penetrate. The next application is stress absorption. You can use geotextile as a stress absorbent so that membranes will not be damaged. So in road construction, the geotextile maintains the integrity. It allows the free drainage of water, as you have seen earlier, and it distributes the permanent load. It is permit cost-effective construction, and the permanent life is increased. So in our state, it is a 6 months rain. So what will happen that we can see? So this is the picture. You see here, there is no geotextile, second part. So slowly this will penetrate into the soil and the thickness will be reduced. Whereas you need this much thickness for a long life for the road. But slowly the thickness is reduced and the road will get damaged. This is what is happening in our roads also. Now there is a report by FHWA. That is the CBR value is the one which is the basis for the road design called the California bearing ratio. Based on this, the thickness of the road is decided. So if the value is less than 3, nearly 100% of the aggregate will penetrate. So if it is more than 3, the percentage reduction will be very less. But CBR value is less than 3, you need a geotextile. Even today, our engineers or our departments are not using it because of various other reasons. So this is a saturated subgrade, just like a Kuttanad area. There will be capillary rise of water, and that can be drained out. And you see this statement, this is by Settergreen in 1974, so many years back. And AASHTO, American, this one, State Highway Transport Officials, Association of American State Highway Transport Officials in 1993. What their comment is? Permanent layer which is saturated 10% of the time. 10% of the time. See, compare with Kerala. Ours is 50% of the time it is saturated because 6 months we will have rain. So if it is saturated for 10% of the time, the service life is reduced as much as by 50%. 50% കണ്ടു കുറയ്ക്കും. 10% സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് ടൈമിന്റെ. അപ്പൊ ഒരു വർഷത്തിൽ 10% എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ 1.2 മാസം. Just imagine our state. It is 6 months rain. So what is the service life reduced? It will be our service life will be reduced by 90%. Then we are crying, our roads are bad. And we are getting money from KIFBI and improving the road without any side drain and allowing it to saturate. Out of the 6 months rain, let it be saturated for 4 months rain. But still we need a good road. Astro says the structural number of pavement, this is structural number is, Astro structural number is the basis of design, American design. CBR, California bearing ratio, that is the basis we are adopting. In Astro is the one which is followed by US. So what nowadays we are also using the same design procedure. It says pure drainage is reduced by 40%. That is the situation in Kerala. Pavements with poor drainage, it will reduce by 40%. So structural number 40% reduce means your thickness has to be increased by 40%. Road thickness, different layers thickness has to be increased. Are you increasing? No. We are trying to reduce it further. So this is the situation in Kerala. So what is the solution? The solution is you provide, so water is coming at, so drain this water. When water comes to the top, drain it with a graded, a filter medium. So called a capillary break with a geotextile on the top and bottom. So when I presented this matter, when I was in Saudi Arabia and before the multinational companies who are designing, the comment came to me is that why you are providing 2 geotextile. You're providing 2 geotextile layer on the top and bottom because you're manufacturing and you want to find out the market. No, we don't want to find out any market. What is happening? See, the thing is, if you're not providing a geotextile on the top, this aggregate will enter into the bottom one where the voids are larger. And from this, it will be penetrated to the bottom. That is the reason why we asked you to provide 2 non-woven geotextile on top and bottom. So this is just like in Kutanad area. It's a very, very soft clay. You can use a Geogrid and a geotextile combination. I will show you the photograph. Oh, sorry, I didn't put up that photograph. So geotextiles and the Geogrid will be provided, then graded aggregate, again geotextile with a Geogrid on the top. So this is yet another one. It's called a PVD, prefabricated vertical drain. PVD is prefabricated. So P. Vertical, V, drain. So PVDs. This is being used for stabilization of very soft soil. In Kerala, it is being used in our Vallarpadam and nearby Tiruvalla bypass, which is recently constructed. They have used PVDs. And in Alapi Changanasheri highway, I am the consultant for that. There also we are going to use PVDs. So many places we are using this PVDs, and the proposed K-rail also we are using this PVDs. So prefabricated vertical drain for stabilizing the ground, and above which you can use a Geogrid as a geocell. So you can see here the PVDs, above which there is a Geogrid as a geocell, and then fill it. Now the bearing capacity of this clay soil is increased by around 12 times. So fantastically it will improve. So these are all done with the Astro M288 specification, or EN standards are there. So this is an edge drain on the roadside so that you can avoid our open drains. The road side the open drain, you can close it. You won't feel that there is a drain, but water will come inside and will be taken through the pipe. So this is the system. The roadside, you can have the capillary break, which we have mentioned earlier, and then the side drain. Even I am finding it very difficult to convince a civil engineer who is practicing in the field about the working of this principle. Then I am afraid how I can convince you people who are coming from various disciplines of engineering. So this is working, and this is perfectly all right, and I have executed work with choir. This is what I am shown in the sketches. non-woven geotextile of synthetic, but I have executed this with coir geotextile. So the design criteria, there is a lot of principle. That is, it has to allow water to pass through, but soil has to retain. That is the retention criteria. It has to retain the soil, allow the water to pass. So permeability criteria, allow the water to pass. So geotextile permeability should be greater than 10 times permeability. And the clogging resistance. For that, the porosity should be greater than 70%. And permanent overlays. This is when the previous concrete roads was there. This is asphaltic concrete road, cement concrete, and this one we will have a layer of another concrete. But as the time passes, the cracks will develop. So you can put a geotextile and then have another asphaltic layer so that the life can be extended. When I was working in the Saudi Arabian company, our company people will say that we are not producing this one, pavement overlay, because there was a lot of quarries, but we will say that we are not manufacturing pavement overlay. Then I gone through the specification and found that the same product we are producing in our company, that can be used as a pavement overlay. Only one condition has to be satisfied. So I searched. So this is a Maxim Technology finding that if you provide a geotextile in between or pavement overlay you provide, it is equivalent to increasing the thickness by 1 to 1.8 inches. So this is the installation. You clean it, lay the geotextile. This is very thin. You can't even imagine the thickness of this one. It's just like only paper thick. So above which you are putting all the material and then compact it. So this was the condition I found. The rest of the thing is the same thing which our geotextile is meeting in the Saudi Arabia, this asphalt retention capacity. If that is agreeable, our geotextile company manufacturing geotextile can also be used as a paving fabric. So I send our material to America and UK. And with this standard, we have tested and found that our material is less than 1.1 liters per meter square. So that is very fantastic. And melting point was also very good. And the cost wise, then we have developed such a presentation and started marketing. So that was, so during my tenure in our company, that GeoCell I have shown you the white one. And the second was this permanent fabric. Today, these are the major two products our company in Saudi Arabia and Liaf Industrial Company is marketing. So it's the selection criteria is you have to identify what is the function to be delivered. We have seen so many functions in the beginning. So which function you require, that you identify, and then based on the function, you select the geotextile. There's so many criteria given by ASTRO M288, retention criteria, permeability criteria, and its survivability criteria. So this you have to fix it. But if you look into the specifications of departments today, because people doesn't know all those things, so they give some values with some products. That is not the apt way of design. Okay, coming back again, this is the primary functions for protection and comparison of geotextile, and coming to the coir geotextile, our material. So far I was speaking about geosynthetics. So this coir, you know, all these things, there's nothing new. Everything you people know. So these are the product. Coir yarn put up in machine direction and post machine direction. The names which you are seeing here, S3M4, S3M5, that has no relevance. That is only coir board designation. For engineering purpose, it has no use at all. Engineering purpose, what we need is what is the strength, what is this opening size. So this is another product, non-woven geotextile. This is called Cocolog. With the Cocolog, there is a research is going on, and the PhD thesis is going to submit, and which is funded by KCSGE. And this is used for meandering of river. Yes, shape like a river and a valavu outside eroding. So whatever type of solution you give, sadhana kodukuna DR pack, dry rubble pack. So that will be collapsed. So can we replace that costly affair with such a cocoa log? That was our research and found a very good result, and thesis is going to submit. Below like, and this is the geocell I developed in long back in 2002 for Brahmaputra River Management Board. Unfortunately, I didn't patented this, but in Brahmaputra, this didn't give a good result. So that is why I just left with it. But later on, some 2010 or something, a company from Sri Lanka called Rolanka patented the same product. So that is why today we are so much worried, or so much concentration is being given for getting patented. So this is the geocell now we have developed, which is similar to, this is the synthetic one. In the same way we have developed, and the tests were done in College of Engineering Trivandrum. And we found that the bearing capacity is being improved by this material by 4 times and coir by 2 times. So coir geotextile, when I say, it is not the solution for every problem. Some problem you need a conventional type of solution, then combined with the coir. So this is in our Konkan Railway in Mudeshwar. So there they have used a gabion and then coir geotextile, being the failures are very typical type. So this is in Koni, the coir geotextile, mesh type woven geotextile with the cocoa log I have shown you. And this was the barren land in Koni forest area, treated with the coir pith and cocoa log. You can see here, the coir log is here, and the vegetation has been started taking place in the previously barren land. So this is our Cochin Airport approach road. So this is the railway line. So here I'm showing this because we have used this as a 100% eco-friendly. Previously in literature, it says that you have to use iron staples. So we removed the iron staples and started using bamboo stripes. So that was the startup with the Ernakulam ROB. So this is the just previous day while we are leaving, we leveled all the ground, but during night there was a heavy rain. So the things has been collapsed. But wherever we put up the geotextile, there was no problem. After that, there was streams or gullies were formed. And finally, we have covered the approach road, complete area covered with the coir geotextile and stabilized. Only rock pitching was given underneath the bridge area. So after greenery, here we have used woven coir geotextile. This is woven. So same type of structure, we have used a non-woven geotextile in Bangalore. Erosion control blanket. This is a Bangalore case, and there you can see the vegetation. We have seen earlier. This is in Leh Meridian, Cochin. There, the approach road, you know, Leh Meridian Hotel. Just nearby Leh Meridian Hotel, there is a building which is collapsed. While foundation settled and the building has been abandoned. So nearby that area, the Leh Meridian is standing on very good pile, but their approach road construction was very difficult. So we convinced the owner, and I used the coir geotextile as a part. I have given the coir geotextile as free to them. So this is the Leh Meridian Hotel during construction. My material coir is underneath this concrete. This is a rigid pavement. This is the approach road. Going to the one side, coming back on the other side. Central there is a median. So that is this sketch. Central there is a planter median. Here the road. The other side also the road. So this was the setup. So the geotextile. Here we have used 2 material. This was my initial experiences. So non-woven coir I have used. To give a strength, I have used a woven coir also. So woven and non-woven combination has been used. From all this work, we are gaining experiences and design methodologies. This was a French drain. I have shown you earlier, the French drain with the synthetic. This is in Baipur. This is the area was belonging to Kerala State Coir Corporation, and this land has been sublet to our Lakshadweep administration. Lakshadweep administration is bringing oil from Cochin and bring over here. Then they will change from tanker to small containers. That small containers will be loaded into ship and taken to Lakshadweep. So what is happening? This area is completely oil spill on it, water percolating. So there will be water logging. So during rainy season, they could not do this oil filling. So what I done is I have made a geotextile with the 45 by 45 drain with the 40 mm aggregate. You can see this. See the trench, 40 mm aggregate has been filled in and then covered. And this area was the area wherein this oil changing is taking place. So the whole road has been rebuilt and that has been taken through the water coming from this drain is taken out and connected to the public drain. So now after that, there was no water logging in this area. It is even today working perfectly all right. Can you imagine when I executed this work? This work I done in 2004. It's almost 2022. It is 2004 I done, and there is no CPA, water logging now in this area. Even there is a oil spillage. So such a fantastic work. And this is in Bharatapuzha. Bharatapuzha, in summer season, water will be one end, the pumping station will be the other end. So water will not be here in the pumping station. So irrigation water they will not get. So the block panchayat will make a channel. So after making the channel 1 or 2 weeks, the rain will come. Then again the channel will choke, no water will come. They want a perennial solution. So what we done is 1 meter by 1 meter. The one we have seen in the Bepur is only 40 centimeters. Here we have designed it as 1 meter by 1 meter. Aggregate size is 100 to 150 and executed it. This is the pump house. This is the Bharatapuzha. So when we reach the center portion, there's a lot of water, and through this, just like a pipe, it started flowing to this pump house. Even today, this is working. The work is executed in 2005 or something. This is a Calicut bypass. Calicut bypass, this design is so many issues was there, and finally, what I am showing here is designed by Professor Ramanath Iyer sir and T.K. Gopalakrishnan sir. Both my gurus are no more. With the pranam, I say that this is the design by TSR and TKG. What they given us a vertical drain, 6 mm metal with a non-woven coir. Even before I am entering into coir geotextile, Ramanath Iyer sir selected non-woven coir underneath a 6 meter height embankment in Calicut bypass, NH 17 bypass, starting from Ramanathagar. I was the consultant to this project from the very beginning onwards. Subsequently, I went for my PhD, and then thereafter, Ramanath Iyer sir and TKG sir came into picture and given this solution. This is in Chair Trishur. There is a soft soil. When an embankment is constructed in soft soil without any base reinforcement, there is a possibility of failure. So I was the consultant. I asked them to provide a coir geotextile, but they were reluctant to use it. The problem was centrally it failed. See, went down by around roughly 1.5 meter. Total height is 4 meter. Out of the 4 meter height, 1.5 meter it went down. So you can see here finishing work was going on. Clay was projected on the side. See, the clay is projected on the side. See the theory. This is the theory. It will fail like this, soil will bulge. Depending upon the nature of this soft soil, this bulging may take place sometimes half a kilometer away. So from this embankment, half kilometer away, if there is a building that may come up, you will wonder why it is happening. So this is the issue. This is theory and this is practice. This is what I am always shows to the practicing engineers. Never say that the theory will not work in the field. And we wasted 4 years in studying civil engineering in colleges. So coir, this is for National Highway 17. After a long follow-up, we were able to use it in Puttipura. This is in Cherthala Tannirmukha. You know the peculiarity of this road. If you stand on the side of the road and a heavy loaded truck moves, you will humpy-bumpy. You will just float like anything for 1 minute. So they want to reduce that jumping of property of this soil. This was because of capillary action. So I provided coir geotextile, non-woven. This is geotextile stitched blanket, non-woven coir geotextile I have used, and the problem was solved. Charthala Tanirmuka. And the French drain, which I have shown you earlier, and also the one I have shown you in Bhoo. This is being used in Cochin International Airport after the 2018 flood. They want to drain the water from this area through concealed drains like this, using coir geotextile. I am very happy because I was propagating this from the 2005, and at least in this 2019 or 20, people have started using it. I'm very, very happy in seeing this work. You can see here Cochin International Airport. Here I went to see yet another problem with the runway. Then I saw this work is going on. Then I clicked all those things, and because I was propagating this, and very happy to see that it is being implemented. This is again Kunli Maneshwar Highway in Delhi, Agra. So Agra Palwal Highway 56, 53 kilometer coir geotextile has been used. When I proposes this for Kerala PWD, at that time they will not use it. But National Highway Authority has been used. Now Kerala government is coming up. But you see, right now, Tamil Nadu government is coming up through their MSME. They want to use in every project coir geotextile. If possible, you should use it. And MSME industry on coir geotextile has to be started. And government of Tamil Nadu has made me as the consultant for this project to use this coir geotextiles and also to start industry. Government of Kerala is still running behind. So this is the same road, Palwal Highway. You can see all the concerned people from suppliers of the material, and myself was also there. And this is the area with the vegetation. This is my recent visit to Lakshadweep Island. Very, very interesting. In this particular single photograph, you can see the different materials. See boulders, seashore ആണ്. ഇവിടെ lagoons ഉണ്ട് ലക്ഷദ്വീപില്. അത് protect ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് they have used boulders. This is I went visited some 2 months back. Corona മൂർധ്യാനത്തിൽ പോയി കണ്ടതാണ്. So you can see here rock boulders, conventional method. They have used box type, say hollow type concrete stems. Then initially what they done is coir sack they bought in and then filled with concrete. ഈ കല്ലിന്റെ പുറത്ത് സാക്കിന്റെ പാടുകളാണ്, ചാക്കിന്റെ പാടുകൾ. This one. Then the tetrapod. See, now Supreme Court said that never use concrete in the shore of Lakshadweep and damage the Lakshadweep Island. You find out any natural method for the solution. So coir is getting a chance. That is why Lakshadweep administration requested me to visit the site. So we visited the site, and this is the cavity, and this is just like a chicken neck area. And this is an identified species, just like our mangrove, which is growing in the Lakshadweep area. And now we are planning new products for sea erosion control is in the process of development. But as government, being government organization, even after some 2 to 3 months, nothing has been happened. Only the effort we have taken to develop this product is still pending. Research on coco log for controlling the meandering of river. I told you, trying for field trial, and this is a PhD thesis is completed in CET. Research on mangrove root system on sedimentation and also wave retardation is in progress. This is almost completed, and she has submitted the PhD thesis. This is myself and Jairaj from College of Engineering are the guides. So this is the publication on coir geocell. This is actually geocell of all synthetic material, and the last chapter is on coir geotextile. There's the first book on coir geotextile we have published in 2000. At that time, there was no book on coir geotextile by Professor Venkataparao and myself. And we have done expansive soil with the coir waste also, coir pith with the Jayashri. Now, this is a recent book I have published through Central Board of Irrigation and Power and International Geosynthetics Society on coir geotextile, and their publication number 331. This covers in a holistic manner all the development. Myself, Sheila Evangeline, and Professor Venkataparao. And these are the papers. This is a very good paper, numerical modeling for selection of coir geotextile for erosion control application based on the universal soil loss equation. This is came in American Society of Civil Engineers as another very good paper and well appreciated from all over the country. I mean, all over the world. So Prasija was my student and she was the main force behind this paper. There's a volume change behavior with the coir waste slowly picking up, coming to the notice of people. Jayashree and myself and Lima. This is the IS code on coir geotextile for coir Bhoo Vasthra in unpaved road. This is a jute geotextile and coir Bhoo Vasthra method of test. So many IS codes are there. This is application of coir geotextile for rainwater erosion control and IRC recommendations. And this is the two draft we have prepared, and I am also one of the committee member. This is along with the Trichy, NatPac, we are prepared the draft, sent for circulation. This is a non-woven stitched erosion control blanket with a company in Pune and another company from Cherthala. We are made the draft, which is again in circulation. So these are the efforts we are still taking to promote the material. And I think I have given an overview of what is geotextiles and about our own material coir geotextile. And thank you for your patient hearing and be with me for this non-interesting topic because it is for basically for civil engineers. But as the other engineers, I think you know I have given a small light how it can be used. Thank you very much. Any questions or queries we can. Back to the things and questions here. Some questions are there. By vendor, chat box.
So there are a few questions in the chat box, posted in the chat box.
Coming, some parallel talks are coming. Yeah, that's a disturbance.
Is geotextile a replaceable?
Is geotextile a replacement for soil? Kindly clarify. Is geotextile a replacement for soil? Kindly clarify artificial soil. No, sir, it is not a replacement of soil. It has to be used in conjunction with the soil. When the soil is very poor in its engineering property, use this material to improve that property of the soil. So this is only just like a booster, just like a, what you can say, Horlicks or Boost. We are giving as a health drink. You are giving geotextile as a health drink for the earth. Improve the property. Please inform if geotextile can effectively control earth sliding off in hilly regions during heavy rain, losing life and properties of people. So this topic is very, very vast, number one. Number two, very tricky. Number three, sliding, one parameter is with the coir geotextile or any geotextile is we are giving vegetation. Once vegetation comes in, its root will take care of the failure of the slope. But even today, you can see that concept is slowly changing. A root or vegetation can save your slope, but to an extent because of this sudden pouring of heavy rain with short duration. So that is also an area now we are in studying. But to an extent we can, but not to a large scale, I can say that, but still there is a risk. In Kerala, these tragedies are happening during rainy season. Research activities are carried out on this. So it's going on. So many research is going on, and IIT, this one, her name is one young chap, Neelima Satyam. She is doing some research on this with IIT Lucknow or something. She's basically, yeah, Neelima Satyam. She is doing some research work with a Malayali student as her research scholar. There's a good work they are doing. Why not include this as a compulsory item in the design handbook? In PWD design handbook, it is given.
No, you are telling them You are telling this is very difficult to implement. That is why, what is the difficulty in how to thrust upon?
Yeah, sir, I was behind this not only geosynthetics from 2000 onwards.
Yeah.
Actually, 1995, I took my PhD. From 1995 onwards, I am behind this, basically on geotexting. My 5 year, 95 to 2000, I was able to convince the government of Kerala at that time. And that Sushila Gobala ma'am was the industries minister, and she declared year 2000 as a Bhoo, Vasthra Varsha. Then the aim of the government, subsequently the ministry changed, UDF came and Gauriamma was the minister. And Gauriamma asked me to propagate this material and bring it in PWD design handbooks.
Yeah.
So that effort, when we started, the question comes up is there is no Indian standards, Bureau of Indian Standard spec is not there. So you first bring the Bureau of Indian Standards. So we went for bringing the Bureau of Indian Standard, and at the same time we tried to convince the central PWD, Government of India, Railway Ministry, and also state government. And the Railway Ministry approved it. Central government also PWD approved it. State government, whenever we approach them, it will biodegrade, it cannot be used. So finally, we were able to bring the specifications, and I have shown you the specifications. Right now it is going on, some of them. And now it is incorporated in PWD in Kerala as well as in Tamil Nadu, and central government, railways, everywhere it is accepted.
Very good.
So this is nearly some 20-25 years efforts.
Yeah, correct.
25 years effort.
Thank you, sir.
Lot of information you gave. What will be the cost per square meter of where Bhoo is now followed in Kerala academic interest from Padmanabh. Sir, this is depending upon the opening size. 1-inch opening size and the cost is 48 ruba. The factory ex factory and what transportation the site like Kerala ഒരു 60 രൂപ 65 രൂപയുടെ അടുത്ത് കോസ്റ്റ് വരും. 2, ഈ കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ റോൾ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ലൂസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് എല്ലാവരും റോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അത് ടൈറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ചെറിയൊരു മെഷീൻ ഉണ്ട്. അതുള്ളിടത്ത് നിന്ന് കിട്ടുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് ഒരു ട്രക്കിനകത്ത് സേ 50 റോള് ലൂസായിട്ട് ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന കയറ്റാമെങ്കിൽ ഈ ടൈറ്റ് ബൗണ്ട് ആയിട്ട് കിട്ടുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് 60 റോള് കയറ്റാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പൊ റോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന അനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് കോസ്റ്റ്, ട്രാൻസ്പോർട്ടേഷൻ കോസ്റ്റ് കുറയ്ക്കാം. എങ്കിലും ഒരു 1-inch ഓപ്പണിംഗ് സൈസ് ഉള്ള 400 GS, 3 GSM ആണ് പറയുന്നത്, 400, 700, 900. അതിന്റെ ഓപ്പണിംഗ് സൈസ് വരുന്നത് 1 ഇഞ്ച്, 1/2 ഇഞ്ച്, 1/4 ഇഞ്ച് ഓപ്പണിംഗ് സൈസ്. അപ്പൊ 1 ഇഞ്ച് ഓപ്പണിംഗ് സൈസ് ഉള്ളതിനകത്ത് കയറിന്റെ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി കുറവായിരിക്കും. അപ്പൊ ഒരു സൈക്കിൾ എത്തുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഒരു 60 രൂപ 65 രൂപയുടെ അടുത്ത് കാണുക. മറ്റതിന് ഒരു 80 രൂപ അടുത്ത് വരും, 700. 900 വരുമ്പം ഒരു 90-95 രൂപ പെർ സ്ക്വയർ മീറ്റർ. What is the design life of the material? How the repair procedure in case needed? A real paradigm shift in road land development. So, sadharana gadiyila, when you use this material below ground, surface of ground anengila life 2 to 3 years undavu. Surface of ground. If you lay it below ground and have depth, depending upon the depth, the life will be more. 1 meter താഴെയാണ് വരുന്നതെങ്കിൽ it will be there for more than 7 to 8 years. ഇതുവരെയുള്ള ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ അനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് 7 to 8 വർഷം വരെ ഒരു 1.5 മീറ്റർ താഴെ പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അതിന് മുകളിലോട്ട് കയറും തോറും ലൈഫ് കുറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ബട്ട് സ്റ്റിൽ യു ക്യാൻ എക്സ്പെക്ട് 2 to 3 എക്സ്പോസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ 2 to 3 years എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. Is the reason for poor road condition now exists in Kerala is because we are not using state of art of technology in our state. So the proper drainage, that is the number 1. Number 2, ഇപ്പൊ ഈ BM and BC റോഡ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വരുന്നത് അത് പ്രോപ്പർ ആയിട്ട് ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്യില്ല. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ സെക്കൻഡ് തിങ്. പബ്ലിക് ഓഡിയൻസിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാൻ പാടില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ടായിട്ട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല. ഐ നോ വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ്. അപ്പൊ BM BC പ്രോപ്പർ ആയിട്ട് ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്ത് എക്സിക്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യും. ആ ക്വാളിറ്റി കൺട്രോൾ വരുന്നില്ല. ബേസിക് റീസൺ ഇസ് വാട്ടർ ആണ്. പ്രോപ്പർ ഡ്രെയിനേജ് ഓഫ് വാട്ടർ വേണം. അത് നടക്കുന്നില്ല. കാര്യം എഡ്ജ് ഡ്രെയിൻസ് ഇല്ല. എഡ്ജ് ഡ്രെയിൻസ് ഇല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് പ്രോപ്പർ ഡ്രെയിനേജ് വരുന്നില്ല. അപ്പം റോഡ് സാച്ചുറേറ്റ്, ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 10 times സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന്റെ ലൈഫ് 50% ആണ് കുറയുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ 6 മാസം മഴയുള്ള ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റില് പോട്ടെ ഒരു 3 മാസം വെള്ളത്തിനടിയിൽ കിടക്കുകയാണ്, സാച്ചുറേറ്റഡ് കിടന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന്റെ ലൈഫ് പോകും. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ ആണ് മെയിൻ ഇഷ്യൂ. അത് മാറ്റാനായിട്ടുള്ള ഡ്രെയിനേജ് പ്രൊവിഷൻസ് കാണണം. അതിന് ഇത്തരം ന്യൂ ടെക്നോളജീസ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. ബട്ട് ദേ ആർ നോട്ട് യൂസിങ് സച്ച് ന്യൂ ടെക്നോളജി. സ്റ്റിൽ ദേ ആർ ഗോയിങ് വിത്ത് ദ കൺവെൻഷൻ. സോ ഐ ആം കൺസൾട്ടന്റ് ടു കെയറെയിലിന്റെ എഞ്ചിനീയേഴ്സിനെ ഇത് പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കി ബോധ്യപ്പെടുത്തിയെടുക്കാൻ ഞാൻ പാടുപെടാറ്. ഇതാണ് ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബിക്കോസ് ആ കൺവെൻഷണൽ മോഡ് ഓഫ് വർക്കിങ്ങിൽ നിന്ന്, പാറ്റേണിൽ നിന്ന് ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് ടെക്നോളജി അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ള ഒരു റിലക്റ്റൻസ് ആണ്. Session, thank you for waterlogging in Kutanad. What can we do with the coir geotextile waterlogging? Sir, is a generic question ആണ്. അതിന് ഒരു സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ട് എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. I can tell you that coir geotextile conventional construction in കുട്ടനാട്, കുട്ടനാട്ടിലെ ബണ്ട് കെട്ടുന്നതിന് കൺവെൻഷണൽ കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ മെത്തഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞ 12 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഒരു പാടശേഖരം അവർക്ക് കൃഷി ചെയ്യാനേ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. അവിടുത്തെ ബണ്ട് പൊട്ടിപ്പോകും. പാടശേഖരത്തിന് പേര് ഞാൻ വിട്ടുപോയി. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു സൈഡിൽ കായലാണ്, അതിലെ നമ്മുടെ ഈ ബോട്ടുകളെ മുഴുവൻ അതുവഴിയാണ് പോകുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ഓളം എല്ലാം കൂടെ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഈ ബണ്ട് പൊട്ടിപ്പോകും. അപ്പൊ ഗവൺമെന്റ് പല പ്രാവശ്യം റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അവസാനം കളഞ്ഞു. ഇറിഗേഷൻ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് അത് ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചു. കഴിഞ്ഞ 10-12 വർഷമായിട്ട് അവിടെ പാടി ഇതൊന്നുമില്ല, അഗ്രികൾച്ചർ പരിപാടികളൊന്നുമില്ല. കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കായൽ ഇങ്ങനെ പരന്നു കിടക്കുകയാണ്, ഏക്കർ കണക്ക്. സോ വി ഹാവ് ഗിവൻ എ സൊല്യൂഷൻ. മൈസെൽഫ് ആൻഡ് ജയമോഹൻ ഫ്രം LBS ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടിന്റെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൾ ജയമോഹനും കൂടെ ചേർന്നിട്ട് ഞങ്ങളൊരു സൊല്യൂഷൻ അവിടെ കൊടുത്തു. ആൻഡ് ദേ ഹാവ് കൺസ്ട്രക്റ്റഡ് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് അഗ്രികൾച്ചർ ആഫ്റ്റർ 12 ഇയേഴ്സ്. അപ്പൊ അതുപോലൊരു വേറൊരു പാടശേഖരം ഒരു ഫെയിലിയർ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങള് വീണ്ടും ഒരു ഡിസൈൻ ഒന്ന് മാറ്റിയിട്ട് അവിടെ ട്രയൽ കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ വി വിൽ തിങ്ക് ദാറ്റ് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ലൊക്കേഷൻ വൈസ് അവിടുത്തെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടാമത് പോയിരിക്കുന്നിടത്തെ പ്രോബ്ലം എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ പെട്ടിയും തറയും വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ലൊക്കേഷൻ കറക്റ്റ് അല്ല. അപ്പൊ ഡ്രെയിനേജ് ചാനൽ വല്ലാണ്ട് വന്ന് കയറിയിട്ട് ഇടിച്ചിലുണ്ടാകും. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ആദ്യം കൊടുത്ത ആ പെട്ടിയും തറയും മാറ്റുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നിങ്ങളുടെ പകുതി സൊല്യൂഷൻ പ്രശ്നം പരിഹരിച്ചു. പിന്നെ പകുതി ഞങ്ങൾ പരിഹരിക്കാം, ബാക്കി പകുതി ഈശ്വരനും കൂടെ സഹായിക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് സൊല്യൂഷൻ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. So we hope that it will. അപ്പൊ അത് കേസ് ടു കേസ് വെച്ച് പറയാൻ പറ്റും. ഒരു ജനറൽ സൊല്യൂഷൻ അതിനകത്ത് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല ഫ്രം മൈ സോ ഫാർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്. വളരെ ട്രിക്കിയാണ് കുട്ടനാട്.
Thank you very much. The side drains that you are putting on the Alappuzha Changanacheri road,
sir,
are they meant for the drainage of the road or for the common drainage?
സർ രണ്ടും വരുന്നുണ്ട് സർ. അതായത് മഴക്കാലത്ത് അവിടെ നമ്മൾ ഒന്ന് ഓപ്പൺ ഡ്രെയിനേജ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. അതായത് മുകളിൽ വന്നിട്ട് സ്ലാബ് കൊടുത്ത് കോൺക്രീറ്റിന്റെ മറ്റേ യു ഷേപ്പിലുള്ള ഡ്രെയിനും കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ ഈ ജിയോ സിന്തറ്റിക് ഡ്രെയിൻ കൊടുക്കുന്നില്ല. ആ ഡ്രെയിൻ അവിടെ പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നതിന്റെ ഒരു ഉദ്ദേശം വെച്ചാൽ ഒന്ന് സർവീസ് ലൈൻ കൊണ്ടുപോവുക, രണ്ട് ഈ ഓവർഫ്ലോ വരുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഈ പുഴയിൽ നിന്ന് മറ്റേ കനാലുണ്ട്, കനാലിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന വെള്ളത്തെ ഈ ഡ്രെയിനിലൂടെ സൈഡിലേക്ക് ഈ കനാലിൽ തന്നെ തിരിച്ചു കൊണ്ടുവരും. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു റീസൺ ഇഷ്യൂ വന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ നമ്മൾ ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്തിരുന്ന ലെവലിൽ മഴവെള്ളം വന്ന് കയറി ഈ 2021 മഴയിൽ. സോ വെൻ വി വെന്റ് ടു ദ സൈറ്റ് അഗെയിൻ ടു ഹാവ് എ റീലുക്ക്, ഒരു റീസർച്ച് ആയിരുന്നു അത് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ വാട്ട് വി ഫൗണ്ട് ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് ഈ കനാലിന്റെ സൈഡിൽ നിന്ന് ഓവർഫ്ലോ ചെയ്ത് വടക്ക് വശത്തേക്ക് ചെല്ലുന്ന, തെക്ക് വശത്താണ് കനാൽ, തെക്ക് വശത്തെ കനാലിൽ നിന്ന് വെള്ളം ഓവർഫ്ലോ ചെയ്ത് വടക്ക് ചെന്ന് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വടക്ക് ഭാഗത്ത് താമസിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെല്ലാം ഈ ഒഴുകി വരുന്ന വെള്ളത്തിനെ പലകയും ഷീറ്റും ബണ്ടും ഒക്കെ വെച്ച് കെട്ടി അടച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കും. സോ ദ വാട്ടർ കനോട്ട് എസ്കേപ്പ്. അപ്പൊ ഈ കനാലിൽ നിന്ന് ഓവർഫ്ലോ ചെയ്ത് വരുന്ന വെള്ളം അപ്പുറത്ത് ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ അടച്ചു വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, തിരിച്ചു വരും. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് സൊല്യൂഷൻ കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും ഇത്തരം ഹിൻഡ്രൻസുകൾ ഗവൺമെന്റ് സൈഡിൽ നിന്ന് മാറ്റിയെടുത്തെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ ആ ഫ്രീ ഫ്ലോ ഉണ്ടാകൂ. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഫ്രീ ഫ്ലോ വരുമെന്നുള്ള കണക്കുകൂട്ടലാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു പ്രൊവിഷൻസ് എല്ലാം കൊടുത്തത് ആദ്യത്തെ ഇത് വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഈ പ്രൊവിഷൻസിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ട് ഈ കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഓപ്പൺ ചാനൽ ശരിയാവത്തില്ല, അത് വേറെ ഇഷ്യൂസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞുള്ള ഒരു ഹ്യൂ ആൻഡ് ക്രൈ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയപ്പോൾ വടക്ക് വശത്തുള്ള പബ്ലിക് അതിനെ ബ്ലോക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ. സോ ഒരു കളക്റ്റീവായിട്ട് പീപ്പിൾ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേഷൻ. ഇത് ഒരു ഐ ഹാവ് ഡൺ വർക്ക് ഇൻ തൃശ്ശൂർ. long back. Kerala Land Development Corporation വേണ്ടി ചേർന്നുകൊണ്ട് കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ എറോഷൻ കൺട്രോളിന് ഈ കോൾ പാടശേഖരത്തിൽ ഞാനൊരു ഇതിനകത്ത് ബണ്ട് പ്രൊട്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. ഈ ബണ്ടിന്റെ മുകളിൽ കൂടെയാണ് തൊട്ടടുത്തുള്ള ഒരു ഈ കൃഷിക്കാരുടെ ഒരു ഡ്വെല്ലിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്, അതിലേക്കുള്ള വഴിയാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഈ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ വെച്ച് ഇതിനകത്ത് ചെടി അങ്ങോട്ട് വളർന്നു കയറിയപ്പോൾ ഇതിനകത്ത് പാമ്പിന്റെ ശല്യം വന്നപ്പോൾ ഈ ആൾക്കാർ രാത്രി വെള്ളം അടിച്ചു വന്നിട്ട് ബോട്ടിൽ പൊട്ടിച്ച് കയറൊക്കെ കീറി എറിഞ്ഞ് വലിച്ചു ദൂരെ എറിഞ്ഞു. സോ ഫ്രം ദാറ്റ് വാട്ട് ഐ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് ഇത്തരമുള്ള പ്രോജക്റ്റുകളിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ പബ്ലിക്കിന്റെ കോപ്പറേഷൻ നമ്പർ 1, നമ്പർ 2 അവരെ എഡ്യൂക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക, അവരെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞ് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ആണ്, എന്ത് കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും അമ്മയെ തല്ലിയാലും രണ്ടു പക്ഷമുള്ള ഒരു നാടാണ് നമ്മുടെ. They won't accept. അപ്പൊ ഈ അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാത്തവരെ, അതാണ് ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞു, ഈ കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാത്തവരെ കൊണ്ട് അക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യിക്കാൻ ഞാൻ എടുത്തത് 25 വർഷത്തെ പ്രയത്നമാണ്. അതിൽ കുറെ എനിക്ക് ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഭാഗത്ത് നിന്ന് സപ്പോർട്ട് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് മെജോറിറ്റി വാസ് ആസ് എ വൺ മാൻ ഐ വാസ് ഫൈറ്റിംഗ് ഫോർ കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ ബിക്കോസ് ദാറ്റ് വാസ് മൈ വെൻ ഐ ഗോ ഫോർ റിസർച്ച്. ദി ജിയോസിന്തറ്റിക്സ് കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്നല്ല ഇന്ത്യയിൽ പോലും വന്നിട്ടില്ലാത്തൊരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിലാണ് ഞാൻ റിസർച്ചിന് പോകുന്നത്. If I were done on geosynthetics, I would have been a millionaire right now because at that time there was no one in geosynthetics in India. പക്ഷെ അന്ന് നമ്മുടെ മെറ്റീരിയലാണ്, നമ്മുടെ ലോക്കൽ മെറ്റീരിയലാണ്, അതിൽ റിസർച്ച് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ള ആഗ്രഹം കൊണ്ടിട്ടാണ് കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ പോയി തിരിച്ചു വന്ന് അതിനെ പ്രൊപ്പഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഈവൻ ടുഡേ തിരിഞ്ഞു നോക്കുമ്പോൾ സന്തോഷം മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. കാര്യം ഇത്രയൊക്കെ കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ പറ്റി. പല പല കമ്മിറ്റികളിലൂടെ ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവന്നു. ആൻഡ് ടുഡേ ആൾ ഓവർ ഇന്ത്യ ഇസ് വെൽ അക്സെപ്റ്റഡ്.
But wrong application is making it unpopular in certain areas because the geotextiles, they think it is just to dispose of the excess kayar supply, and so it is actually put on bunds which are really blocking the people's normal use, and also has been a problem with the vegetation that was already there. All the vegetation had to be removed, and then this had to be put, and this is put in such a way that it's difficult for people to travel around.
സർ, അതിനൊരൊറ്റ ആൻസറേ എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളൂ സർ. അതായത് എന്റെ ഇതുവരെയുള്ള ഈ 10-20 വർഷത്തെ ഇതിനു വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഫൈറ്റില് ഒറ്റ ആൻസർ എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളൂ. അതായത് വാളെടുത്തവരെല്ലാം കയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈലിൽ വെളിച്ചപ്പാടുമാരാണ്. സബ്ജക്റ്റ് അറിയില്ല, ഇതിനകത്ത് എന്താണ് ജിയോ ടെക്നിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിന്റെ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് അറിയില്ല. സർ, ഞങ്ങള് ഗോവയിൽ ഒരു വർക്ക് ചെയ്തപ്പോ, അതായത് ഇതുണ്ട്, ക്വാറിയാണ്, അയണോർ മൈനാണ്. അയണോർ മൈനിന്റെ വേസ്റ്റ് ഡംപ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് 10-70 മീറ്റർ പൊക്കത്തിനാണ്, 1-2 അല്ല. അതിനെ സ്റ്റെബിലൈസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ഇവിടുന്ന് കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് തന്നെ കൊയർ ബോർഡിന്റെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ ഒരു ടീം അവിടെ പോയി അത് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് വന്ന ഉടനെ ആ സാധനം എല്ലാം കൂടെ ഫെയിൽ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് രണ്ടാമത് എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ഇത് വന്നു. ഞാൻ അവിടെ ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, അത് ജിയോ ടെക്നിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിന്റെ ഫണ്ടാസ് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കാതെ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിട്ടാണ്. ഐ ഹാവ് ദ ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫ്. ഞാൻ പലപ്പോഴും ആ ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫ്സ് പലർക്കും പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ ഫെയിൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താ പറയുക, കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ കൊള്ളില്ല. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ വേറൊരു സ്ലൈഡ് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, ജിയോ സിന്തറ്റിക്സ് വെച്ചിട്ട് ഫെയിൽ ചെയ്തൊരെണ്ണം കൂടെ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പം ജിയോ സിന്തറ്റിക്സ് വെച്ചാലും ഫെയിൽ ചെയ്യും, കൊയർ വെച്ച് ഇത് ചെയ്താലും ഫെയിൽ ചെയ്യും. റീസൺ എന്താണ്? എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഇല്ല. ആ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടും കൂടെ അതിനകത്ത് ക്ലബ് ചെയ്ത് ഇത് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. പക്ഷെ കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈലിനെ പറ്റിയത് എന്താണ്? വാളെടുത്തവരെല്ലാം വെളിച്ചപ്പാടുമാണ്. അതിൽ കൊയർ ബോർഡിനകത്ത് ഒരു ശർമ്മയുണ്ട്, UN ശർമ്മ. ഈസ് ബേസിക്കലി എ കെമിസ്റ്റ്. കെമിസ്ട്രി മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ഡിഗ്രി കെമിസ്ട്രിക്കകത്ത് PhD ഉള്ള ഒരാളാണ് ഈ UN ശർമ്മ. UN ശർമ്മയാണ് കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ മുന്നടക്കുന്നത്. വാട്ട് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഹി നോസ്. ഇതൊക്കെയായിരുന്നു അതിന്റെ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് തുടക്കകാലത്തുണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഇവര് ഈ ആൾക്കാരോടൊക്കെ ഫൈറ്റ് ചെയ്താണ് എനിക്കിത് പ്രൊപ്പഗേറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. എൻ്റെ കൂടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നതാണ് പ്രൊഫസർ GV റാവു. ഞങ്ങൾ രണ്ടുപേരും ഫേസ് ചെയ്ത് പല ഞങ്ങളെ പലയിടത്തും അവോയ്ഡ് ചെയ്യുക ചെയ്യും ആദ്യകാലത്തൊക്കെ. ഇന്ന് നമുക്കൊരു സ്ഥാനം തരുന്നുവെങ്കിൽ തുടക്കകാലത്ത് കിട്ടിയിരുന്നത് ഒരുപാട് അവജ്ഞയായിരുന്നു. കയറും കൊണ്ട് നടക്കുന്നു, നാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസുകളിലും ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസിലും ഒക്കെ ഇതുകൊണ്ട് ചെല്ലുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇന്ന് എല്ലാ മേജർ കമ്പനീസും കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് കമ്പനി, ഒരു പൂനെ എന്നുള്ള ഒരു കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, അവര് പോലും ഇന്ന് ഇതിനകത്താണ് കൊയർ മാനുഫാക്ചർ ചെയ്യാൻ നിൽക്കുകയാണ്. ടെക് ഫാബ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് കമ്പനി ഉണ്ട്, ഇറ്റാലിയൻ റിലേറ്റഡ് ആണ്. ദേ ആർ ഓൾസോ സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ് ടു പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് കൊയർ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ ഇൻ ഇന്ത്യ. മറ്റത് Pune എന്നുള്ളത് I forget the name. അവരും started producing and marketing to geotextile. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കാലത്ത് ഇതൊന്നും ആർക്കും വേണ്ടാതിരുന്ന കൊള്ളില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സാധനത്തിന് ഇന്ന് കോർപ്പറേറ്റുകളാണ് ടേക്ക് ഓവർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് വെരി ഹാപ്പി. കാര്യം കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് ആയാലും ആരായാലും കുറച്ച് പഴുതെടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദ ഡേ കയറ് തല്ലുന്ന ഈ ചകിരി ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നവനും കയറ് വിരിക്കുന്നവനും ഒരു ജോബ് കിട്ടും. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഐ ആം ഹാപ്പി അബൌട്ട്.
Congratulations for your accomplishments.
While constructing house after filling paddy field, whether this geotextile can give extra protection. Erosion control മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ, പക്ഷേ മറ്റതൊന്നും കിട്ടില്ല. ഒരു ഞാൻ ആദ്യമേ പറഞ്ഞു ഫൗണ്ടേഷന്റെ അടിയിൽ ജിയോടെക്സ്റ്റൈൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കാം, സിന്തറ്റിക് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം, പക്ഷേ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നോക്കിയിട്ടേ അത് ചെയ്യാൻ പാടുള്ളൂ. നമുക്കിത് ജനറൽ എന്താ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നതിന് പിടി കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. പാഡി ഫീൽഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടിട്ട് മുകളിലേക്കുള്ള വെള്ളം കയറ്റമാണോ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് അറിയത്തില്ല. ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ നോക്കിയതിന് ശേഷമേ പറയാൻ പറ്റും. പക്ഷെ ഫൗണ്ടേഷന്റെ അടിയിൽ ഒരു ബിൽഡിങ്ങിനെ പ്രൊട്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യാനൊന്നും കൊയറെന്നല്ല, സിന്തറ്റിക് ആയാലും രണ്ടു വട്ടം ആലോചിക്കണം, എന്നിട്ടേ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടും. I think I have answered. What is the expected life of geotextile? I mentioned. Ravindran Sand's question is 2 to 3 years. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ that comes up to നമ്മുടെ ഇതുവരെയുള്ള ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ വെച്ചിട്ട് 7 years if the depth is more. Yeah, I have covered all the questions also, and thank you for his raised and shows the active participation. And I thank Ravindranath sir for giving me a chance to speak to such a big audience. Thank you, sir. And thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Now, gratitude is a fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Now, I invite Anjana Sabu for the vote of thanks. Sorry, sir. She seems to be having some network issues.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Good evening, all. By this, we are concluding our 98th talk of in the society webinar series. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Ravindranath sir, chairman and organizer of this webinar, for successfully conducted previous 97 talks. Now, I express my sincere thanks to Dr. K. Balan for delivering such an informative session and also for answering the queries regarding the same. Now, I would like to thank all the organizers, and at last but not least, I would like to thank all the volunteers, the participants who joined the meeting and made it a success. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskaram. Ravindra, sir.
Namaskaram, Panikku, sir.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. വളരെ സന്തോഷം. ഞാൻ email note ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. I want to be in touch with you because I'm very much involved with the problems of Kutanad.
അറിയാം. Definitely we will keep in touch, sir.
Yeah, it's a challenging situation there for different aspects of it. So
yeah,
it's very interesting. So we'll be in touch. Thank you very much. Excellent presentation. Wonderful. You have done an excellent job. And I'm very, very, very happy to see that your career has taken you so far ahead. I'm very happy for that. Of course, TKG was a very close friend of mine. Ramanand was my teacher. And so I'm also a CET 64 batch.
Yeah, I know. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Rajivan.
Sir,
വളരെ നല്ല സെഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു sir.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
ഞാൻ ഞാനിങ്ങനെ നോക്കി സജുലെ കണ്ടു, രാജീവിനെ കണ്ടു.
ഞാൻ കുറച്ചൊരു 5 മിനിറ്റ് ലേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണ് വന്നത്. എനിക്ക് എൻട്രി ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കുറച്ച് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു സാർ.
ഓക്കെ.
ഞാൻ കുറെ പേർക്ക് അയച്ചു, പക്ഷെ ഒന്ന് റിമൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റിയില്ല.
കണ്ടു, ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന കണ്ടു.
വേണ്ടപ്പെട്ട സെഷൻ ആണല്ലോ സാർ അത്.
അതെ.
ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ സർ.
ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
ശരി സാർ. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
Okay, sir. Ravindra, sir. Let me leave.
I think he left the meeting, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, thank you.